Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
What a weird day. 9/12 on Election Day. It's going to be a busy one, but we're ready for it. RiverBender.com. It is our daily show. CJ Nasello here with you. And boy, my boy, let me tell you something. This studio did not want to turn on today. I just had Zeke and Patrick, and number one, the damn monsoon that is over us right now, that's going to be over us until like 3, or maybe even all day is now what they're saying, gave me the worst sinus migraine last night. I went home after, oh man, it was brutal. So I'm in a little bit of recovery mode. But I got my suit jacket, I got my button down, and I am ready for election night coverage right here on our daily show. We're going to be talking to all of the presumed announced winners tonight, and even folks that might not win but still want to call in and thank their supporters. We had a lot of people. I know that I just reached out to State's Attorney Hain and Chris Slusser and Patrick, all those guys are going to be calling in, plus Amy Ellick going to be getting conversations with a lot of other individuals as well as those races unfold. So that's all coming down the pipeline, but we got until about 7 o'clock for that. Here's what's happening now. A conversation with the North Alton Godfrey Business Council that will take you to first, because I'm a little bit behind schedule. So why don't we do this? We'll start this conversation with the North Alton Godfrey Business Council, and we'll come back with more news coverage for you right on this kind of just rainy Tuesday morning. So at 9:12, our conversation with Patrick and Zeke and the North Alton Godfrey Business Council right here on our daily show. Welcome back to our daily show on this Election Day Tuesday morning, the 5th day of November. Zeke Jabusch and Patrick join us here now. Zeke, really excited to have you in the studio for the first time in a year. It's been a while.
Happy to be here.
And
is it rain or no rain?
And then Patrick, help me with your last name, Loechl?
Loechl.
Oh, man, I always ruin something in interviews, Zeke, you know? Well, Patrick, you're with Wells Fargo here in Alton, correct?
That is correct, yeah.
And, just right off the bat, I'm sure this is always an interesting time, in the year for you, especially with the end of the year coming. And now, there's so many folks that probably have so many questions about, what's next year going to look like? How should I start preparing? And before we dive into anything with the council, what are those conversations looking like for you right now with your clients?
Right now, it has been for a couple of years now. Just is a lot of, really understanding the client, the aspects of what their needs and things are, and trying to tune out the noise. It's been quite a bit of that as we see it, but the elections are going to, create some noise as it relates to things and everything like the markets and the economy. And so our feeling and stance is we like to, really focus on how we can help them and their independent needs and individual needs, but try to tune out some of those things so we can focus on what's important to them.
Absolutely. And now the question that we all want to know, which one's the winner? Which one are we all putting the money on today, Patrick?
Yeah, it's one I probably can't answer. For the last few years, I feel like it's pretty close, and generally speaking.
Oh no, I meant for stocks. I meant what's the one stock? I'm here to make some money today.
Yeah. I don't know how much. Unfortunately, I don't know how much I can kind of dive into specific recommendations, but there's a lot of stances and things that we feel are, depending on how things go and how things progress into next year. There's areas that I think can benefit one way or another on it.
Well, and now take me through your day-to-day at Wells Fargo. What's that look like?
Yeah, my role is pushing just shy of 7 years now, as I've been managing the Alton Godfrey, but the branch here locally for Wells Fargo Advisors, and I've been at the company for over 13 years now in various roles. And so day to day is I have a producing branch manager, but I have the duties of managing our office, which is staff right now as we continue to build and have had for decades locally here. The day in and day out operations as it relates to, the staff and the needs and the clients and other employees. And then outside of that, I also work with my wealth management practice and a group of clients that I also have had. So I work with them on, appointments and meetings every day to kind of help focus on what's important to them and what they need.
So honestly, it seems like communication's got to be key in what you're doing. If you aren't, all firing on all cylinders, it's going to be a pretty tough race.
That's a big one. Yeah. I mean, I feel if you're not touching base and at least seeing how, what clients need and how their focuses are, but communication's big, just with the employees, but then also more broadly with how we're getting that out there to people for helping them.
Well, and now when you're having conversations with the firm at large, just about clients in general with the company, do the needs change per region, or is everyone pretty much, kind of have that same end goal of their, quote unquote American dream?
Sure. Great question. I feel there's a core of what people need. There's a core aspect of everybody that has needs and wants and goals and aspirations of what we can help them out with. Then after that, it's our jobs to tailor that to each individual from varying levels. What we focus on here in this community compared to East Coast, West Coast, or all over, you're going to have a varying level of clients that have different needs or different aspects of wealth management or wealth themselves. And the nice thing is we can offer a lot, as it relates to what we can help them out with on all ends of what they're doing.
Zeke, you're right, man. You said he's the best around for a reason, or one of the best, Well, and Patrick, what's it mean to be a part of, the business council and, collaboration with those business owners, and also just hearing what some of the leaders that come in have to speak about at these meetings?
Yeah, I love it. So I'm not from the area. I'm born and raised in the Chicago suburbs, west suburbs, and spent a time where I never thought I'd kind of branch out and travel, and found myself East Coast, West Coast, and all over the Midwest. And so what's interesting is I've planted myself here, since 2011 here in the St. Louis area.
Wow.
And now embedded in the community. Driving thing, meeting Zeke, knowing him through various groups, that I've worked in and try to get involved. I took it upon myself to really focus on starting to get involved in the community, not being from the area. I wanted to get to know business owners, individuals, branch out and create friendships and relationships. But the thing I think is just great is take somebody from not in the area. The business council and others they embrace you 100%. They really take you in as a friend, as a partner, as a business owner, and help cultivate that. So being a part of the council, and my biggest challenge is time.
Right.
Yeah, I've got 2 young children. I've got responsibilities in the office. Not getting to be, I wish I was there more, but I think what's great is that you're always available and everybody's always open to when you can be there to help chip in and be a part of the organization.
Well, and Zeke, I think that pretty much checks all the boxes that you're trying to accomplish.
I think so, absolutely. Happy you were saying that.
Well, you're welcome. Yeah, I think there's what I've learned from all over the country, there's a amazing group of people, and being a Midwest person, I kind of take those roots to heart, but what I've found is that everyone's here just wants to make everyone better. I think that's a really positive thing that I've noticed from the various areas and people that we've talked to.
Well, and that's such a great point too, because it just seems like from all my experience just with the council, it's a great place to learn, and especially with what you're doing, Patrick. Relationships, I feel like are 99% of what makes that client not only happy but also successful. Because if you aren't having a good relationship with that person, you truly aren't going to get to know them and what they truly want to get out of this. And just like the council, I mean, you truly get to know the people in the community, and I think that's a great tie-in too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you would find out all the things personal and business wise they need help with. But it's a great thing, and you're right. I think relationships are one of the number one thing, top things you have to have with people, because that's where they trust you.
Well, and before we dive into some really great activities that are coming up, I wanted to talk about right now, what are some of the conversations that you're hearing with your clients that have already, been with you for a couple of years now? What are they kind of just sensing? Is it, any stress, or is it anything that they're kind of more interested in terms of maybe newer technology coming to the market to invest in, or maybe new additions to the stock market? What are they kind of feeling right now?
They're feeling a wide spectrum of things.
Really?
But
Okay.
you're absolutely correct. I think everybody wants to understand a little bit of what's changing, where things are going. What do we get involved in, or where's parts of the market or growth engines of area we want to look at, technology-wise, or even just industrials, manufacturing. You pick it. They also want to know a little bit of just, how can they get to their end goal? What's going to keep them comfortable? I think with me, there's such a spectrum from young to more experienced clients, starting out to very well established, that they all can kind of have a different need and a different focus. Some want safety and security. Some want accumulation and long-term growth, and we have to tease that out and understand exactly how we can kind of find the need for them.
Well, and to follow up on that too, I think that's sometimes a misconception when it comes to, financial planning and investing and things like that. Is, my generation thinks you need $25,000 to put down, on stocks tomorrow to really do this. And there's a lot of different ways that somebody could prepare for their future, correct?
Oh, absolutely. And the nice thing too is you get to have an experience and understanding of that, where you try to explain the risks and rewards of what you can do and how you can invest, and patience and a lot of things that go along. So if you're new and young in investing and growth, there's a lot of ways that, people in my position and a lot of other great colleagues that are around the area here as well, and especially in the community, really help understand, hey, how do we get you there? What are you missing? What can we help you with versus others that are established? How do we make sure you're doing everything the right way? And kind of getting it. And that goes back to what you said before, relationships.
Yeah.
You understand somebody, you can understand how to help them.
This is really cool. And, getting into just a little bit more of the counsel side of things, there's no better time to invest than when your child's about 5 years old, sitting on Santa's lap and getting, a nice stock or bond. That's what I think. Or maybe a nice security bond, something nice. What do you think, Zeke?
I agree.
I heard Santa's giving them out this year.
That's correct. That's correct, as a matter of fact. Now, we're posh with good giving. Good point. Good point.
Fill me in on Breakfast with Santa. This is a great event that you guys do each and every year, and it's become quite popular.
20th annual. We have tried to do things a little differently in terms of our breakfast, the entertainment that we have. The people that we attract, of course, are younger people by imagination, just because of child rearing. Last year, our attendance was down a bit, I think primarily because we didn't promote it. And so, like relationships, events have to be promoted. And it has to be done with an understanding that they've been good in the past, and hopefully they will continue to be good or better than what you've experienced before. So we're looking forward to a good crowd this year out at the KFC on November the 14th, a Saturday morning. I'm sorry, December the 14th. Forgive me. Saturday morning, starting at 8:30, buffet breakfast. Santa will appear. Santa and Mrs. Claus will be there this year.
You even got Mrs. Claus down
All the
here.
way from the North Pole. She's promised that she would dress in her nicety. So we're looking forward to them being there. And, of course, the entertainment we have this year is a little more expanded than what we have had in the past.
Are we going to have some music there? Or
Going to have music, live music. Jim on keys is our music.
really cool.
And we have a top-notch musician, a young man that has performed aboard the ships in the Caribbean and in the Pacific. We'll have a balloon maker and a face painter, as the case may be. A balloon artist, I'm sorry, I think he chooses to be called. So, which creates
Makes sense,
all nice things for the kids.
This is really cool. You guys got a moment to stick around?
Sure.
I got to pay a quick bill. It's 8:46, or no, it's not. You guys are watching this at 9:16 and a little bit of change. But we'll take a quick break here nonetheless. Breakfast with Santa coming down the pipeline. This is one you won't want to miss. More conversations as we spotlight the North Alton Godfrey Business Council right after this quick one on RiverBender.com and Roku TV.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Dibs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Then that time I went and said goodbye. Now I'm back and not ashamed to cry. Ooh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Here I am.
Welcome back. Spotlight on the North Alton Godfrey Business Council continues. You know, getting into a little bit more of the conversation, Patrick, you know, what are some of your, take me through what the office does each and every year. So if I call, what's that first conversation look like? Who am I meeting with?
Yeah, it's a great question. Our office has been, as I said, around for decades.
Yeah.
We were in different spots, but we've been in the same
Well,
location
heck, man,
for
I've
20
seen that
years.
logo forever, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. So
That
very,
sign.
and I have a very lucky group where as some have retired and transitioned into the next stage of what they want to do,
Mm-hmm.
we've had a very experienced group of people in my office. So which makes my job a lot easier to have people that know what they're doing and are very professional. But, you know, right out of the gate, we always have somebody that's there to greet somebody. Not every office always has a receptionist, but we keep somebody up front. Always an opportunity, if you call the office, that we have one of our experienced assistants or staff that, you know, answers the call and routes it to the right individual. And as we're there most every day, depending on timing, you know, or meeting with clients, then it just transitions from there based on the need and, you know, working with our individual clients every day.
Really cool. Yeah. Well, and you know, Zeke, what's it mean for you as the president of the council to have, you know, not just, you know, business owners, but also, you know, folks that truly do understand the industry in which they work? Because it seems like there's always just a wealth of knowledge, and if you really have a question about anything, you can go around and just ask somebody.
Right. The professionalism that I think we have in the community in terms of people like Patrick is just unexcelled. And I don't have the experience of what goes on in New York, but I'm sure that ours is not very far behind. In fact, probably it's much better, more personalized than what you would find in New York. And it's great. We're happy as an organization to have these people as members, because that just makes our organization better.
Right.
To have a group of professionals who really reflect not only their profession, but the image of the community through participation, as Patrick says, with organizations like Rotary and our organization, Optimus, whatever the case may be. It's important to give back to the community, and each of them are doing just that, both in terms of the service that they provide professionally, but as well as participation in organizations that provide community services.
100%, Zeke. And now, if people can always join the North Alton Godfrey Business Council. Now, some of these meetings, though, Patrick, I mean, you've seen them are getting pretty full. Man, Roper's was a full one at Roper's. But if somebody's new to the area, maybe they're just starting their business, or they have this great idea and they're getting ready to start that first business, how does somebody join?
Very simply, we are on the website. We would entertain a call. We're happy. We try to follow up with people who are new to the community and welcome them.
Yeah.
And don't always hit everybody, but that's the first step, an introduction. And with that, we'll introduce them by saying that we're part of the business organization. We'd love for you to come and experience those that are participating in the organization by attending a meeting, and let them experience it firsthand. If they find that they'd like to go on, why, we'll proceed on that basis. We assign a person as a mentor to that person, and they follow up with that respect to, yes, I'm interested, no, I'm not interested. And everybody has their own idea about what they want to do. So that's really the pattern we follow.
When's the next upcoming meeting?
We are a week from today at lunch. It will be at Senior Services Plus, and our featured speaker will be John Simmons.
Really cool.
Who is pretty well known in the community in terms of a developer, an entrepreneur, and a visionary. So we're looking forward to it.
Really, another great meeting. And now, when you're looking for speakers, it doesn't seem like it's that hard of a job for you. You know, because the community's just full of them. And now, also, are you guys still doing the Benjamin Godfrey Speaker Series?
We intend to have a speaker next year.
Okay.
And tentatively, well, I'd better not say.
Okay.
We have a good speaker in mind, and she's still contemplating whether she's coming from the east, and it depends on her travel schedule. So
interesting. I just wanted to make sure we put a quick plug out for that as well. And, you know, Patrick, is there anything going on at the office that we can talk about, or anything, you know, promoting-wise, like any events that you guys do or community service?
A lot of events and things are driven, you know, locally. And what I would say is that's been a big focus, you know, with getting involved. It's been word of mouth.
Yeah.
And great people that you get to know relationship-wise that have involved me in this great group and others around there. And same thing with the office. I think it's a lot of the people we serve, where we can work with clients all over the country, and as a lot of my colleagues and others in the community. But we really do get a focus on making sure we're taking care of the people that are here locally to help them.
Well, and see, that's what I think so important is it seems like, you know, just my couple of minutes of meeting you, Patrick, that you really are an advocate for the folks that you are working with. And that's great to have, especially when you have such a strong relationship. And now, what's it mean to you to really be welcomed into, you know, you say that, you know, 2011 you move into the area, but, you know, for years now you've been in, you know, the Alton area in this office. But to truly be welcomed in, I mean, that's such a great, you know, notch in the belt, I think, for the community at large, you know, for someone to truly, you know, feel that, embrace it, and feel success, too, in that process.
Yeah, absolutely. It means the world, you know, in the sense that you have people that can, and, you know, from outside, from around. I've traveled all over the country in various positions, so I've seen a lot with that. But then to try to get involved as in some respects an outsider, even with my background and things, was mean the world. So taking those relationships, others that can help cultivate it, but more importantly, just the business owners and individuals that have just put your arm around you and helped you kind of, you know, be welcome and be at home is a nice thing.
Is there one thing that sticks out to you that makes the council a little bit different and special than maybe other networking groups or other business organizations?
The people. You know, I everything that I see has such a wide variety of businesses and experiences and age groups of people starting out their careers to have retired but have so much knowledge. I think what's great about it, just like others, but really kind of gets to pull all that together, and you can learn how, as you said it earlier, how do you learn a little bit from how things and other people are doing things around the community? They can kind of take that and run with it and make it more successful for themselves here locally.
Absolutely. And, you know, Zeke, before I let you go, let's get back to this, the 20th annual. We're at 20 now.
Correct.
Breakfast with Santa, man.
Right.
Kids, and now are you on the second generation yet of Breakfast with Santa goers, second or third generation?
We are.
That's great.
Yeah, we are. In some cases, third generation, really.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it really is.
And now what time and date is that again?
It's on December the 14th, a Saturday, from 8:30 till 11. Breakfast with Santa and Mrs. Claus, a buffet breakfast, and great entertainment.
And who's doing the buffet?
Nikki's.
Oh, they're great.
Nikki G's from up at Brighton, Illinois.
They're great.
And they are a business council members. So
really cool. And make sure you mark your calendars for it. We'll link it. And Patrick, it's good, great to get to know you a little bit more. And what's the best way for folks to reach out and get to know a little bit more about the business and Wells Fargo at large, in case they're ready to help themselves, you know?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're locally right there off of Homer Adams Parkway. They absolutely can get online. We're very much available, you know, internet-wise, to call the main line we have there. Reach out and talk to any one of us if we can help you out. You know, we're happy to be there to serve the community, as we've done for a long time.
Great.
Really cool. Zeke, you picked another great guest.
Good.
Zeke has been one of the best producers for this show, Patrick. That's what nobody's realized. You know, a lot of my best interviews come right here from the North Alton Godfrey Business Council.
I would agree.
You can learn more by going on to the North Alton Godfrey Business Council website to see how you can register to become a member or reach out and be a part of this great group. And just stay tuned to all the great volunteer projects and community projects that the NAGBC does. We'll take a quick break. More Daily Show on this Tuesday morning. It's Election Day in the heart of the 618.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof, because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Dibs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, We're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
All right now, baby, it's all right now.
Here we go.
All right now, baby, it's all right now.
9:40. A little bit of change. Daily show hitting you. Man, my sinuses are so bad. Hey, God have mercy on some of our basements today. Man, oh man, I'm telling you what. Hey, wanted to fill you in on a few things before we talk to Mark Sunlove with the Soldiers Memorial Museum in St. Louis. We're going to talk about their 41st annual Veterans Day Parade, and really excited about that. But man, that sinus migraine I got yesterday is just kicking my butt. Wanted to fill you in on a few things, and with that being said, we'll take you to this first. This is bigger news for the region. Plans for 2 significant new National Scenic Byway Corridor activation projects are moving forward in the Great Rivers and Routes region of southwest Illinois, with both slated to open spring 2026 along the meeting of the Great Rivers National Scenic Byway between Hartford and Grafton. The new Scenic Byway Discovery Center, a 4,500 square foot visitor orientation facility, will be constructed on the parcel of land near the mouth of Piasaw Creek on the Madison-Jersey County line, west of Alton on the Scenic Byway. The center, which will feature new hardscapes, including landscaping, parking, with areas for motor coach buses, outdoor gathering and learning areas, interpretive panels, an outdoor art installation, kiosks, a riverside trail, and a kayak landing. The site is also immediately upstream from the Army Corps of Engineers Piasaw Creek Recreation and Boater Access. The center will itself include 1,400 square feet of permanent exhibit space, a gift shop, lecture facilities, and public restrooms. The center will be open 7 days a week and will be managed by the Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau. Downstream, near the confluence of the Mississippi and Missouri rivers, improvements on the Lewis and Clark Confluence Tower site in Hartford include major renovations to the Confluence Tower, park expansion, public art installations, a new playscape area for children, and an expanded and updated visitor center experience celebrating the Lewis and Clark Expedition and the American Bottoms Natural Heritage Area. These much-anticipated projects are funded by a portion of a $10 million capital bill grant, received by the Great Rivers and Routes Tourism Bureau to create and enhance products that celebrate the region's working rivers and history of the region along the 33-mile scenic byway, which runs from Hartford just north to Grafton. Determining a location for the proposed Byway Discovery Center was originally the largest hurdle for the specific component of the grant projects. Originally, Piasaw Park in Alton was investigated as a site, but ownership of the land and potential tax liabilities of the property unfortunately made it unfeasible. A second proposed site, also in Alton, was eliminated after discussions with city officials and organizations. Corey Jobe, the CEO, president of Great Rivers and Routes, also noted the new site just west of Alton on the Great River Road sits directly on the Byway route and connects the Byway Discovery Center directly to the Mississippi and soon-to-be-completed Upper Mississippi River Restoration Project at the Piasaw and Eagle Nest Landing. A U.S. Army Corps Habitat Rehabilitation and Enhancement Project. The Byway Discovery Center is designed to contribute to the livability of the region while further activating the Byway Corridor with other key projects and programming that steward key natural and cultural assets, promote active living, and build a vibrant livability destination for leisure travelers, our businesses, residents, investors, and others, noted Mr. Jobe. Design and engineering firms working on both the Byway Discovery Center and the Lewis and Clark Confluence Tower include SMS Engineers of Alton, Henderson Associate Architects of Edwardsville, Kennedy Hudson Associates Architects of Monticello, the Hitchcock Design Group of Naperville, Taylor Studios of Ronto, and all of those are Illinois-based businesses. And that's just a little bit more on those really important development projects that are happening right down the road. Also in the news, a very important news story. A GoFundMe campaign has been launched to support the George Pappas family following that tragic fire that claimed the lives of 3 family members in Belleville early on October the 28th. The fundraiser, organized by Brittany Rowan Sullivan, aims to assist the family as they cope with their devastating loss. Now, the fire, which was classified as a 2-alarm incident, destroyed the family's home while they were asleep. In addition to the loss of their residence and personal belongings, the family mourns the deaths of George Pappas' father, brother, and the father of his niece's child. The family also lost 2 dogs and a cat, their pets, in the fire, as George Pappas, along with his mother, niece, and 1-year-old nephew, faced the challenges of starting over. The community is being called upon for support. Sullivan, the organizer, emphasized the need for shelter and essential items, stating, quote, "We ask the compassionate hearts of the Rowan Tire Network, Belleville community, surrounding towns, and anyone moved to assist this family in their time of need to consider extending a helping hand," end quote. The GoFundMe campaign is seeking cash donations as well as new or used home and personal items. Donations of clothing for the family members, including baby items and grocery store gift cards, are also requested. Specific clothing needs include sizes for George's mother, niece, and himself, as well as necessities for his 1-year-old nephew. For those wishing to contribute, non-cash donations can be delivered to Rowan Tire, a local business operated by George Pappas' father, Bob Rowan, for the past 41 years. The community support is seen as vital as the family begins to navigate this challenging period of grief and rebuilding. You can click on the RiverBender.com article. There's a hyperlink on that can take you directly to the GoFundMe page. Also in Troy, Dan Brandon had this story, the tragic story of Leslie Reeves, a beloved Troy community member and the owner of All About You Studio, was featured in an episode of CBS's 48 Hours. On Saturday, November the 2nd, Reeves was murdered in the early hours of Thanksgiving 2021 during a first date with Chris Smith in Farmersville, Illinois. Chris Smith was shot but also survived. The two had gone on a first date and decided to go back to his place to continue building their connection when they were ambushed by Reeves' ex-boyfriend, Robbie Tarr. He fired once at their heads, and Tarr is serving an 85-year prison sentence for the murder of Reeves and critically injuring Smith. Don Muschel, the head of the Troy Maryville St. Jacob Marine Chamber of Commerce and a close friend of Reeves, shared her thoughts on the impact of the case following the broadcast announcement. She recalled Reeves as somebody who always wore a smile and dedicated her lives to helping others. She had this to say, she never said, "Poor me." Her goal was to help others. She noted that there were many were surprised by the manner in which Robert Tarr, convicted of Reeves' murder, didn't tell the truth during the investigation. She said, quote, "I think people were surprised as how he was straight to the camera." She said, adding that some felt the focus of the coverage should have been more on Reeves and her life. Muschel described her friendship with Reeves, highlighting their shared experience in the chamber and their efforts to empower women. The incident occurred in Farmersville after Reeves and Smith met online and went on their first date the night before Thanksgiving. Their evening turned deadly when an intruder entered Smith's home, resulting in Reeves' death and Smith sustaining life-threatening injuries. Muschel said there was great shock and sadness throughout the Troy community and across the country. After this incident, Muschel noted that she had been in touch with Reeves' family after the tragedy and emphasized the need to support Reeves' children. And in the aftermath, she expressed hope that the story of Leslie Reeves would inspire others to seek help if they are experiencing domestic violence. The 48 Hours episode, titled Fatal First Date, delved into the harrowing events of the night and subsequent investigation that led to Tarr's conviction. As the community remembers Leslie, her legacy of helping others, particularly women in crisis, remains a central theme in discussion surrounding her life and tragic death. If you know of anyone who is experiencing abuse, or if it's you yourself, you can call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back. Oh, here we go. Daily show on this Election Day Tuesday. And, just before we do bottom of the hour, or I guess we're going back to the top of the hour news, just interesting because coming up tonight, we're going to be bringing you results. And right now, it's just so interesting to see where everything's at. Nationally, Real Clear, 538 has currently 241 to Harris, for Harris, 230 for Trump and their projections. But there's also Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, and Nevada that they're calling toss-ups. Michigan went lean Democrat last night. And Nate Silver today said that at 12:30 this morning, said that after 80 simulations, Kamala Harris won in 50.15% of the cases, 40,012 to be exact. She did not win in 39,988. Of those, 39,718 were outright wins for Trump, and 270 were exact electoral college ties. So that's what Silver had to say, I guess, lastly this morning. It was published. Also, Real Clear Politics has currently right now, if their polling holds up, they have their projection made too at 287 for Trump, 251 for Harris. Now, with just their electoral map that they have up, if there were no toss-ups, they have it at 219 to 211, Trump to Harris with 108 toss-up. Now, for the Senate side of things, they have the GOP at 50 in the battle for the Senate, 43 for the Democrats. No toss-up map means for them that if their numbers hold true, it'd be a GOP pickup of 3. So just interesting. Ray Hartman joined us and filled us in on how he was feeling in Missouri. And you can stay up to date on this all the time by just going to RiverBender.com. And actually what I think is interesting, if I zoom in on the Real Clear Politics political house map, they have Ray's district now as lean Republican. So just interesting to see how these numbers are going to start coming in. And early voting, I know NBC said that it was incredible to see some of the numbers. So we have a few hours, and we'll have some fun with it. Dan Herkert's going to join me, who knows a heck of a lot more about the polling and numbers and all that good stuff than I do, and we'll hear what he has to say this evening at 7 p.m. We'll take you to some news now. The Wood River Fire Department is getting a $740,000 demo pumper truck as it awaits a replacement for a previous pumper truck that was totaled in a fire. City Council members approved the purchase at this week's meeting, where a new probationary firefighter was also sworn in. Fire Chief Wade Stahlhut explained the department's previous pumper truck caught fire and deemed totaled by the insurance company. Stahlhut said a new pumper truck was ordered in November of 2022, but isn't expected to arrive until June of next year, creating an absence in the department's fleet. While the insurance payout from the totaled truck was less than expected, Stahlhut said he's hopeful the negotiations will continue for additional funding. The department also plans on selling a 2008 Spartan Crimson pumper truck they've been having mechanical issues with, which Stahlhut says should net the department $397,000. He also said that these are capital improvement and ARPA funds set aside for the new truck purchase, as well as $350,000 in zero-interest loans they've secured from the state fire marshal's office and can apply for again next year. City council members also unanimously approved a resolution that authorizing the sole purchase of a demo Rousenbauer pumper truck from Sentinel Emergency Solutions for $740,000 and waiving customary bidding procedures. They also, at the department, welcomed probationary firefighter William Korenick, who took his official oath at Monday's City Council meeting. He was sworn in by City Clerk Danielle Sneed. To much applause from attendees before shaking hands and taking photos with the fire chief and the mayor of Wood River. 9:47, a quick break. We come back and learn more about the Veterans Day Parade in St. Louis right after this.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof, because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready? Future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Nation.
10:01, welcome back. Daily Show smacking you in the nose on this election morning Tuesday. Mark, welcome back to the show, my man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, CJ. How are you doing?
Well, man, really appreciate your time and really excited to talk about this. And, when we get a chance to highlight, days that we get to observe, especially Veterans Day, we always love to do it. And especially right now in our region, we have so many great veterans groups that are doing some wonderful things like Riverbend Patriots. So the more we can talk about this and just raise awareness for days of observance like this on November the 9th, that Saturday, is great. And how are you doing today, man? It's raining over in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, we got a little bit of rain, that's for sure.
Is the museum okay? Or memorial okay?
Yep, we get through there just fine. So we're in good shape. But yeah, lots of the lower lying areas will suffering, I think, a little bit of flash flooding this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is really cool. The 31st annual St. Louis Regional Veterans Day observance is going to take place Saturday, November the 9th in downtown St. Louis. And fill me in on this, man. This is just an incredible event to cover.
Yeah, so this has been happening, I think it's branded as the 41st. I'll give you a little bit of history of that on that, CJ. Veterans Day really starts at the end of World War I, right? So in November of 1918, the war ends. There's huge celebrations in downtown St. Louis, really everywhere, right? Everybody's celebrating the end of that awful war. So that's November 11th, 1918. The next year, 1919, they celebrate what they call the first Armistice Day, which is the recognition of the end of the war. And it continues that way for a number of years. And there's a parade and celebration every year on Armistice Day. And then gradually the holiday kind of morphs into what we know as Veterans Day. And then eventually in the 70s, they come up with an interesting bit of U.S. history, which is called the Monday Laws, when they start to move a lot of holidays to Mondays to give people a 3-day weekend. So they do that with Veterans Day. And that's when the parade is moved to the first Saturday, the Saturday just before Veterans Day. So it's been that way for about 41 years now. But every year, the community comes out, civic organizations, high school JROTC units, all come out to both be in the parade and watch the parade and honor and celebrate our veterans.
100% over. And I mean, just knowing this year, I saw that over 50 groups and over 500 individuals are expected just to participate. But, Mark, seeing the sights and sounds of it in years past just from social media, and it's incredible to see every generation and every background really coming out and observing this.
Yeah, it is great. And like you said, the participants, cover the whole spectrum, right? So it's the very young high school JROTC kids in their uniforms and marching, and then right alongside the older Legion and VFW veterans, and all kind of coming together for this one moment.
Well, and now take me to the Grand Marshals or the Grand Marshal of this observance parade.
Yeah, you bet. So this is General Helwig is the Deputy Commander of U.S. Transportation Command.
Wow.
And I'll tell you what, CJ, if you ever see on the news where the military is moving, whether it's personnel, equipment, people, U.S. Transportation Command is involved. It all runs through there. It's a multi. We know of Scott, and we think maybe it's an Air Force base, but Transportation Command is all the branches working together. And so we're really honored to have the deputy commander as the Grand Marshal. And then following the parade, we'll have a ceremony where he'll provide the keynote address.
That's incredible. I mean, talk about a job right there where, I mean, you will know if you aren't doing it correctly pretty quickly. I mean, you have to be pretty much spot on all the time. It's incredible.
Yeah. And I've met with some of these folks in a whole nother league. It's
I bet.
The level of logistical expertise, experience, knowledge that they have is just mind-boggling. How they move and interact with so many different organizations. You think about moving stuff by rail, by sea, by land, by air.
In all scenarios.
Yep.
It's incredible. Yeah. And now what I think's a really big component of this, and I think in such a full circle way, is, when you have these junior ROTC cadets and anyone that's, a younger individual that's seeing these veterans, that are in the parades too, I mean, that's inspiring, and it's inspiring for the folks that are watching, but for those, individuals that are in that program, knowing that there's a good chance that, they could be, one of those next veterans in that float that, hopefully comes home and is able to celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's an interesting part of the Veterans Day Parade is it's a spectacle, right? So we want people to come and watch the parade for sure, but it's also important because there's so many veterans in the parade, right? And it's kind of their golden day to show the community their pride in service, and maybe put on that uniform again and march down the streets of St. Louis and say, hey, I served and I'm proud of that. And then of course we want an audience out there to recognize them, right, and to thank them. One of the I think the best ideas that I've heard is, if you have a veteran, whether it's an uncle or a father or mother, aunt, maybe just a friend, take them out for breakfast and then bring them down to the parade and let them know, hey, thank you for serving. Let's go celebrate your service a little bit.
100% over, Mark. And, there's so much to do in this day as well in downtown on Saturday, November the 9th. Now you have the ceremony that does take place at Soldiers Memorial at 11:30 a.m. But take me through some of the sights and sounds of this performances, and I know that there's going to be some more to do with this ceremony and activity portion of it.
Yeah, so there's some fun things for families. We do a sign making station at Soldiers Memorial so that the kids can come and make signs to hold along the side of the road. That's something we really enjoy. We'll be handing out small U.S. flags for people along the route to help celebrate. The units themselves are a lot of fun. A couple of the units this year, the Off-Road Hers. This is a group of women who own these really cool Jeeps. They're all themed.
There's been a lot
out.
of all-women Jeep clubs lately that are popping up, and they're in droves, Mark. They're in droves.
Yeah, and they're so much fun.
Yeah,
and
they are.
These Jeeps are cool. They're not just nice Jeeps. They're all themed. So there's one that's St. Louis Blues, and she changed the horn, so when she blows the horn, it sounds like they had scored a goal.
Yeah.
That's great. So they're gonna park, right? So they're in the parade, and then they're gonna pull over at Soldiers Memorial at the end of the parade, along with some Model T cars, so that are in the parade. They're gonna pull over and stop as well, so people can also go check out those cars, right? So they don't just pass you in the parade, but you can get up and close and check them out.
Question for you: is the Ghost Army exhibit still up too?
Oh, yeah. Yep, it is.
Perfect tie-in for CJ in a full circle moment. Then when you're done with the ceremonies, go see how cool of an exhibit this is.
Yeah, absolutely, right? So there's your Saturday, November 9th morning. Go take a veteran out to breakfast, come down and see the parade, then check out one of the most fascinating stories of World War II in the Ghost Army.
I'm telling you, the commercial just wrote itself, Mark. I mean, know. Now, who's going to be performing the national anthem?
So this is Kathy Lawton Brown, and Kathy is a radio personality with a classic radio station in St. Louis, but she's also an Air Force veteran and an incredible singer. She also does she actually MCs the parade for us. So she'll do that, and then she'll do the national anthem. And it's great to have a veteran like Kathy, who's got such an incredible singing voice and singing ability to do the anthem for us.
Well, and to have that local St. Louis, personality touch to it when, so many people have come to know her as well. I was just chuckling because I was reading additional information. This shows you how well, everyone goes, you have to be prepared. I read right here, don't forget the new Ghost Army exhibit.
There you go.
But before we let you go, there is going to be a Hall of Fame induction for the 2024 Missouri National Guard. How does this work?
Yeah, thanks, CJ. So that's a new organization, relatively new, 5 to 10 years they've been running, but they recognize service members who have served with distinction in the Missouri National Guard. Last year, they did their induction ceremony during this ceremony, and they we're working with them again to do the induction this year as well. So I don't think they've released the names of who they're inducting, but it's a number of individuals who've served with great distinction in the National Guard. One like Harry Truman is one example. Lots of folks who have incredible stories of service. So we'll be doing that as well.
Speaking of another Harry Truman tie-in, I learned yesterday that it was in St. Louis. He held up that famous Dewey Defeats Truman newspaper during the election.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
I learned that yesterday, and I got to give credit where credit's due to old McGraw Millhaven over there. He was talking about it. But yeah, that's another Truman St. Louis tie-in. Now, a couple of more things for you. Wanted to ask you the St. Louis in Service exhibit. I haven't heard about this one yet, so I'm learning for the first time with all of us. Fill us in on this. We have some time.
Yeah, so this is what we call our core or permanent exhibit. It's on the main level, and it covers everything from, it's looking through a very St. Louis specific lens, and it looks at everything from the Revolutionary War up through modern day, and the different conflicts that the nation has been involved with, but really from how were St. Louisans involved, and how were people of this region involved with these different wars, different companies, businesses, so it's that perspective. So it's kind of it's a great exhibit to learn both about the military history, but really about your community's history and about people who have served from this area.
So one final thing before I let you go too on this, Mark, is there is going to be a free hot dog lunch for parade participants, but the big thing is on November the 11th at 10:50. I know that there will be a wreath laying ceremony in St. Louis. Where is that at?
Yeah, so that's right at Soldiers Memorial as well. So that's it's a special thing that's been happening for I think over 50 years, CJ. And this is the Alliance Française, or what I call the French Alliance, because pardon my French, right? I'm no good at it. But they come every year, because of the French connection. They still see this day, and rightfully so, as a remembrance of World War I, right? And the end of that war, that call back to the original Armistice Day and the brutality and the losses of that war. So they come on the 11th day of the 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month, when that war ended, to do a wreath laying ceremony at Soldiers Memorial.
Well, we do something. We do wreaths across America at the Alton Cemetery, and I'm sure it's just kind of that same hair-raising moment when you watch it every time and you're a part of it. It's something. It does something to you. I mean, it truly does. If no one has gone, I mean, that's something to go and observe.
Yeah, those moments to pause and reflect, right, and to remember, and they're important.
Yeah. Well, and Mark, man, thank you so much for coming back onto the show. You're always welcome back. Love chatting with you. You guys have to, if you haven't yet, Mark and I literally just like telepathically gave you the commercial of a lifetime. Bring the veteran in your life, or if you have a group of veterans that maybe you do something on Veterans Day or something for that occasion, this is something to go and be a part of the 41st Annual St. Louis Regional Veterans Day observance. While you're there, go in, see the Ghost Army exhibit, see the St. Louis in Service exhibit, and see a great ceremony along with the car show. Mark, thank you so much for your time. We'll talk again soon, man.
Hey, thanks so much, CJ. You take care.
No problem. You too. At 10:14, a little bit of change, more Daily Show on this Tuesday right after this. Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Dibs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit villagedispo.com and shop now.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Really exciting about this, Ray. I mean, people have been talking a little bit about this, and it seems like you got some really enthusiastic voters, especially down in the St. Louis County area.
Yeah, our district is about 3/4 St. Louis County, and about the rest is divided between mostly St. Charles and Franklin counties, and then a very small piece of Warren. And in St. Louis County, 40% of the total registered voters are in the clubhouse. They've already voted. Look, I'm looking at it right now. Just came in, and it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's 150,000 people have already cast their ballots at no excuse early voting, which is something we've never had here. And it's been extraordinary, and for me, it's been great because I've been out there every day. Haven't got out yet today. I'm waiting for the rain to stop a little. But I think I spent 36 hours shaking hands with voters, in early actual voters as opposed to likely voters. And it's been, I tell you what, I think we're going to do better than people expect. Let's put it that way.
You know, I honestly could see that too, Ray. And, let's talk about some of those conversations you've had. What's this last couple of weeks been like for you out on the trail?
It's been the best part of the race, and people, I've always known that voters tend to wait to the last couple of weeks, no matter how hard you work. They wait to the last couple of weeks to focus, particularly on a race like Congress. And even the presidency for a lot of people, but people are really, first of all, it's been gratifying. I started RFT when I was 24, and I forget that a lot of people, I think I underestimated how many people know me with that. And then obviously 37 years on Donnybrook. And if I'm able to pull an upset, it's because I think I've built a good reputation in St. Louis, and people know me. And they know that I speak the truth as I see it, and that I'm not a politician. And I, campaign, first of all, it has not been negative at all. I mean, I've made an issue out of Ann Wagner ghosting the district, but that's all about her job, not about anything personal.
Right.
She's trying to get a little less nice toward me, but that's okay. It's okay. She hadn't been that bad. And I would say that, so it's been an unusually positive campaign. We tried to use a little more humor and sort of, because part of my whole message is we gotta fix Congress, and it starts with everybody lightening up a little bit and not hating on one another and working across the aisle. And that message resonates about as much as any. You know, and you know me, I think no one can accuse myself of taking myself too seriously. And not that I don't as a candidate, but you know what I mean? It's like,
well, yeah,
I think we just got to be normal to each other. And that message matters to people.
Well, and I've said this too. I mean, the last couple of months, I think folks were just kind of getting tone deaf to the yelling and the screaming and the rhetoric on, you know, from anybody. And I think to have that to where, you know, let's take the stick out a little bit and let's do this. And I think it's been really enjoyable, honestly, to kind of watch that side of it. And I'm sure you've had conversations with your constituents where it's, you know, hey, why aren't you maybe attacking her on this? Or, you know, do you think you're, you know, but there's no reason to.
Right. And everybody knows that there's some big issues.
Oh,
so,
gosh,
for example, there's a real binary choice. For example, I will bring back Roe v. Wade protection to women and access in all 50 states to contraception and IVF. And she won't. Okay, so there's that. And there's also, she wants to end the Affordable Care Act and I want to expand it. I mean, so we have some basic differences. But I'll tell you this. The biggest one is about, I always tell people, like in the line, I said, you're going to get sick of seeing me. And that's the opposite of ghosting the district. And we're not just talking about 12 years of no debates and no town halls, which is accurate, but it's more a matter of just being there. I cannot tell you how many people who seem pretty like moderate, not necessarily in my camp, thanked me for being there. And really, they shouldn't have to thank me. I'm not a hero. It's your job if you're running for office. I get a kick out of the fact that people think it's so wonderful that I'm out there. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, it's like your boss thanking you for showing up to work. You know, I mean, it's like just because Ann Wagner hasn't done it doesn't mean that I'm some kind of hero for doing it.
Well, and honestly, you know, I think that some of the things that are going on, and we've talked about this before, and I think the big misconception is that sometimes, you know, federal elected officials federally can, you know, help with local issues in St. Louis City, but just to be there and have a presence to know, hey, I can call my congressperson and say, hey, here's the issue I'm facing, and they're likely going to know about it, because I feel like that's been a disconnect that I've seen in publications, is that there's really not a pulse on local issues.
I think so. And understand, it's not just about getting stuff done. I mean, he has an office, you know, that answers it. But it's about being able to communicate directly with the person who represents you, meaning whether you voted for that person or against it. When I'm elected, and I'm saying that, you know, I'll put it in when, we'll see. But when I'm elected, there'll be a news availability, for example, just about every time I'm back in the district, if there's anything going on at all in Congress. And it'll be interesting to see, after all these years of the media, those of us in the media feeling, you know, a little bit resentful for the fact that the Congresswoman isn't available. It's going to swing in the other directions, whether they want to keep showing up to cover stuff, you know, because I'll do that. And I think that's the biggest difference between us. I've done dozens of events, literally dozens, that have been publicized where anyone with access to the internet could have come and met me, even if it was a labor event, Democratic, or any other kind of event. They knew where I was at because it was advertised. Ann Wagner, honest to God, has not had one event, not one publicly advertised event where you knew, unless you were a campaign contributor and you were invited, where you could find her. Not one event in the entire election season. That goes to the primary and the general. Wow. She has not one event in St. Louis where you said, oh, I'm going to go see Ann Wagner and give her a piece of my mind or say how much I like it. Not one event. Now, what is that? And that's in an election.
Yeah, I mean, that's just really fascinating to me in all the wrong ways. And speaking of one of the local issues that really, I think, jump-started a lot of the conversation, I think made the district even more competitive, was this radioactive waste. Has that been one of those unforgivables that you've had encountered there in the district, where it was just like, it seems like, Holly's after at the time, Cori Bush was, they both joined forces. Is that really sticking with constituents, or is that out of the viewpoint and they focusing on national issues?
It actually has, CJ, and I'll tell you why. I've been surprised to the degree it has, because it's so. I think she may have underestimated how broadly people now understand an issue, are aware of an issue they hadn't really paid attention to. So many people in our community, and look, on this issue, there is no difference between the 1st and the 2nd and the 3rd district. This tragedy of thousands of our citizens having been poisoned by radioactive waste and continuing to suffer generationally from cancer, some of the rarest and most horrible illnesses, and dying. That is something that knows no district borders. And in March, when the Senate passed a bill that would have, for the first time, gotten some little measure of relief, and we're talking about $3.7 billion, would it be, in compensation to our victims and I say nobody cares whether they're in the 1st or 2nd district. I mean, to people who are suffering. Ann Wagner came out against it because she said it was too expensive. Now, that didn't last long, because Josh Hawley called her shameful that night. And he's in the same party she is, and he didn't run it against her. He called her shameful, and other Republicans attacked her. And I always tell audience, if Josh Hawley calls you shameful, I don't know what to say. But that's a partisan set. But seriously, though, she has underestimated that. Now, she tried to kind of weasel out of it. She's got all these excuses. But the one thing she cannot deny, because it's an empirical fact, is what she did not do. And what she did not do on March 8th, after the bill started in the House, she did not sponsor it and lead the way and lead the fight. She did not do that, and she can't claim that she did. She's trying to come up with all. She ended up voting for it, believe it or not, 10 days after, about 2 weeks after coming out against it.
Wow.
Without any explanation. She even said she was outraged that her party turned it down for the very reasons she had advocated 2 weeks earlier. Okay, but the point is that, and all that does is show you what a politician she is. So it's like, I think that I will say that issue. And what's interesting is I spent a lot of time in Franklin County, which I love, and it's the furthest part of the district from where the radioactive waste hit. It's not a part that, and people in Franklin County care just about. I mean, they really are upset about this, even because they know it's their brothers and sisters, and they may know people who are affected. So the fact that it isn't in their neighborhood directly, don't think that people in Franklin County that didn't get their attention, because it did.
Absolutely. And Ray, you have just a couple of hours left, a day and some change until we're going to start getting some results. And how are you just feeling overall? You're heading into this, and I wanted to touch on two things. Just, all this work, you've really been campaigning hard. You're out there each and every day. Would you do this all over again?
Yes. And I feel like you're an athlete, CJ. You know what this is like as a soccer star. I feel like I left it on the field. Yeah. You know what I mean? I feel like I've given it my best, and I'm not a hero. I just went out and did my best, and I absolutely would do it again. People have been so nice to me on the camp. I mean, really. I mean, obviously there are exceptions, but just like I said, I think I've spent 36 hours in talking to people in early voting lines in the past, since a week ago Saturday. And that's been the most gratifying part of this whole thing, because people have been so nice and, again, complimentary, but also just they've been very, it's just really heartening. And of course, I'm from, I'm diehard St. Louis and born. And, but we genuinely, it's been a great experience. Yeah. And so I don't have any regrets. And I also don't have any, I'm not going to make a prediction of who's going to win or not, I will make this prediction. I think it's going to be much closer than people think, and I think we have a very realistic chance of victory.
Well, and before I let you go, too, because I know that you got some work to keep on getting on to, but I want to always talk about this Problem Solvers Caucus that you really are having your eyes set on, and I think that's a good message to kind of leave on, because watching the news on any channel the last 5 days has been brutal for people. You know, therapy's probably going to get discounted soon just for some mental relief, but you really want to go in and do some work across the aisle, and I'd love for you to fill our audience in before tomorrow in case they're interested.
Look, if I get elected, when I get elected, I'm going to be the tied for last in seniority, and my goal is to be tied for first in bipartisanship, okay? There's a Problem Solvers Caucus. It's 32 Democrats, 32 Republicans, and what they do is what you just described, CJ, which is to work across the aisle. They quietly get away from sound bites and try to find solutions. And if I don't care, the one thing I really feel strongly about, and you know this from working out with me on radio, is issues aren't that simple. We want simplistic, one-line soundbite answers to some of the most complex subjects that we have. And sure, I'd love to tell somebody that yes to tariffs, no to tariffs, is one of those is the answer to international trade policy, but it's not. That stuff is complicated. People don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that immigration policy is complicated, or that fixing the economy and cutting the federal debt is somehow just you push a button. In fact, no one, and I don't care, I'm a Democrat, but I am not, this is not a battle of good Democrats versus evil Republicans or vice versa. It's the answers to most of our problems can best be achieved by the parties working together with give and take and not pretending that there's soundbite. I'm going to fix XYZ. It's just not who I am. So I'm glad you mentioned it. I am all about, and I think I got it from Donnybrook. In 37 years, we argued loudly, but we always stuck to the issues, not calling each other names. But we also very often found some common ground in the middle. And that's my DNA, and that's it. So I appreciate you bringing it up.
Well, and Ray, really appreciate your time. And tomorrow, if you have some time, we'll be on the air from 7 till about 10, 11 o'clock. And just would love to hear from you, regardless of what happens, man. It's just been great to see your campaign. And thanks for keeping us updated.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the Riverbender viewers. I guess it's listeners, right? And viewers?
Both. Yeah, they're a hybrid.
Well, in this case, I guess you don't have to look at me, right? Unless you guys.
Got the website.
Thank you so much for your audience. And I hope the last thought I have is and this is whether you're in my district or not, please, please, please get out and vote.
Absolutely.
That's the most important you can do as an American. The second most important thing you can do as an American is vote for me, of course. But main thing, that's a distant second. But seriously, get out and vote, everybody.
Absolutely. Ray Hartman, candidate for the 2nd District in Missouri for U.S. Congress. We'll talk tomorrow, hopefully, man, and just best of luck.
Thank you. Take care.
Quick break, more Daily Show after this.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof, because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready? Future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
Ready for fantastic deals? Head to Village Dispensary, where every day is a celebration. Start your week with 25% off Dog Walker pre-rolls on Monday. Tuesday, enjoy 25% off Dibs gummies. On Wednesday, enjoy 30% off Nevada pens. On Thursday, it's 30% off CQ sodas, margaritas, and more. Friday, enjoy 3.5 grams of Megatron by NGW and Cronuts number 4 by Paul Bunyan for $25. Visit VillageDispo.com and shop now.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Electric Avenue. And then we'll take it
10-11, welcome back to this. Third night.
Electric Avenue. And then we'll take it higher.
That's me.
Happy Monday, man.
Yeah, indeed. Okay.
A lot of rain.
Yeah, it's a dreary one out there.
Is it a little bit of a tougher day to get any installations done when it's this?
Oh, there's nobody on a roof.
Yeah, that's
today.
what I was about ready to ask, man. Now, how does it work for your crew? I've never asked you that. Whenever you guys have a call-off day because of weather, what's it look like for them? Do they just get the day off, or is it, side work, or what's it look like?
Well, if there is side work that can be done that's inside and stuff like that, yeah, but 9 times out of 10, it's a day off.
Really cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, and honestly, now we were just talking, you're at the point of the year where it's November the 4th.
Right.
And you're just trying to clean up some of the more complicated of the jobs, correct?
That's it. Yeah, yeah. The ones that were easy peasy are done.
They're done.
They're done. And now we have all the curveballs.
Do you account for those?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Now, what do the curveballs mean? Is it just kind of like logistics issues? Is it how do you encounter a curveball in what you're doing?
So that's a great question. Just based on recent experience, we have municipalities that are more difficult to dot all their I's and cross all their T's. And then the more complicated, the install or the bigger it is, Ameren can start to push back as well about certain design aspects. And so it's just a lot of back and forth with people who aren't super responsive.
So it's one of those where you have to be as focused as you can be until, these things are done, because if you don't, one day could lead to a week of delays.
Absolutely.
That's what I was wondering, yeah.
And that's the thing is we never want anything waiting on Grid LLC, right? So when we hear about a problem, Grid LLC solves that problem within 24 hours, and then sometimes we wait a week to see,
I'm sure,
is that solution good enough for you? Were you going to respond to us?
Well, and that's good for your current, clients now and the ones that are thinking about it, because there's always something that could arise, and it's just good to know, hey, it's not a grid problem here. We're out here working,
Right, and that's kind of why we did the timing the way we did with August and everything,
100%,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're planning on worst case scenario, anybody who signed by August 15th, honestly, worst case scenario, we've got that covered too.
Right.
Right, and then everybody that signs after that, you're like, yeah, most case scenario, really, really pushing it here. I'm not sure. People ask now, do you think we can get one in before the end of the year? And it's like, is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? Probably not.
Well, and see, I feel like when you have to rush, nothing ever is good that way. And I'm not saying that you guys would do a bad job, but it feels like whenever it's like, oh, we have to get it now. We have to get it now. I think maybe a couple of months and maybe just a couple more conversations could make that process more smooth, and realize it's not the end of the world if you don't get it right now.
It really isn't. It really isn't. So that's another curveball that's gotten thrown at us is Tesla. Tesla has just announced that basically there's a 3 to 6 month lag time on their batteries.
Yeah.
And we don't control that in any way. So, we're trying to roll with that, and we're offering customers an alternate product.
And that's what we were talking about before we came on the air, correct? A little bit about this battery? Yes. Or is this a different?
Well, so no. So basically, we're offering a special now because obviously for all Ameren, Illinois customers, a battery is going to be wise,
right?
If not required. It's not required, but like I said, it is oftentimes wise. So to that end, basically, we're offering a Lumen Smart Panel with the purchase of any battery in Illinois. So what a Lumen Smart Panel is going to do is it's going to take the circuits that you want backed up all the time, right? I want to make sure this is backed up. It's going to take those and separate it out of your current main electrical panel.
Wow.
Okay, and so then those will be controlled by the Lumen Smart Panel, and you can literally control those from your phone. So, you have to go down to your basement to just flip a breaker right now. With the Lumen Smart Panel, you can do it from your phone.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, and I wanted to ask you about that too, because I've wanted to for a couple weeks, keep forgetting. In Alton, in this area, there's some older homes that wiring and panels become a little bit of an issue for when you're trying to sell the house, getting everything up to code. Whenever you guys encounter an older house, is that asbestos wiring or, older boxes? Is that something that has to be completely changed, or can that kind of fit right into the system?
So, when it comes to electrical work, the general rule of thumb is you always want to leave it up to code. Okay?
Right.
So if you find it not up to code,
time to bring it up to code.
Then a lot of times you're suggesting, here's the work that I need to do to get you what you want, but then I have to do this extra work to get the other things up to code. So you run that, and those are curveballs. Like you've just,
I'm sure,
you discovered another curveball. Like, hey, we're going to do this installation. Oh, and now we just found out that when we opened your panel up, there's some things not up to code. So
have you found a wattage or amp issue with some of these older panels too, where they aren't producing as much as they should? Because that was kind of something new that I learned the other day, is that some of these older houses, not a lot, but some just don't have the same wattage that maybe a newer panel would have.
So are you talking about like solar panels, or are you talking about the
actual
main
electric panel?
So so that's really about amperage, right?
Yeah.
Every one of them is 120 volts and 240, right?
Okay.
So if you have a 100 amp panel, then yeah, I mean, by today's standards, that's not very much.
That's what I was curious about.
Right.
Okay.
So can you put solar on that panel? Maybe. Probably. Right? Would it be wise to upgrade it at the same time that you're doing the solar?
I get you. Okay.
Probably. Yes.
Well, and see, why wouldn't you? If you're already doing the bigger project, you might as well just go ahead and take an extra step or two and update it.
Right, if that's necessary.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people see an old panel and they go, it must need to be updated because it's old. That's not necessarily true.
That's so interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the way that they test these things, I mean, like 1 out of 6 million gets to fail because they're going in people's houses where their kids sleep. So they have a very low tolerance for failure.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you see there's certain brands that are absolutely like, this should go, right? Like Federal Pacific is the most common one.
Right.
It's just, if you see a Federal Pacific, it is wise to have that removed.
Well, and see, it's just fascinating to talk about that because, I mean, just hearing that 1 in 6 million, because I think sometimes people look at
made that number up.
Well, no, but yeah, that's true. But I mean, it's just like, you're right, it's kind of a rare thing, but just to have, I'm sure people think about that when they're living in Christian Hill or Middletown, when they have an older box going, oh, now I got to get this fixed. Well, call first and see what the process is and see if it'll work.
Right, and let's not forget that most Federal Pacific boxes that still exist out there, they've been in the house for 50 years and haven't burned it down yet.
That's a good point, right.
Right, but it's something like changing a GFI or putting another breaker in there, who knows? You change something and who knows from there. So,
exactly, man.
Peace of mind, how much is that worth to you?
Well, and now, how important is it for you guys the next couple of weeks really just to stay focused? Because I'm sure as a company, you want to make sure you're getting answers fast for your clients and your projects. But is there like a less is more approach when it comes to it, or do you have to send as many emails and make as many phone calls as you can until someone hears you? I've wondered that for your guys' time and management balance. if you're waiting on the red tape or of a municipality or whatever Ameren wants to change, do you have to kind of keep forcing that issue, or is it just better to wait?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we have our, kind of threshold where, I call it a poke, where we sometimes poke again.
Yeah.
We ask the same question. We're not trying to annoy anybody. We know everybody has their process, but at the same time, it's like, did this fall off the radar, right? So as, the time crunch gets, more and more extreme, then
that makes sense.
We might not wait a week to ask again. We might wait a day or two to ask again. So, I mean...
It's very fascinating, though.
Yeah, we just try to, meet the market where it is.
So let's get back to this battery real quick, because this is a really great thing. So you can, my hot water heater now, because I just bought a new one, does that with the phone. Is it kind of the same concept, where you have an app and you can just open the app and control your panel from that?
Yeah, so you'll have, and that's really controlling those circuits.
Yeah.
Right. So you're not going to do that very often, but you have the capability of doing it. So you're in Florida and you get a notice on your solar that the power went out and that your battery kicked on. Well, if you're in Florida, like, obviously thank God my battery kicked on, right? And you can make sure the sump pump gets the power, but the garage door doesn't need it because I'm in Florida, right? So you can sit there and say, from Florida, here's what I want to make sure has power. So it's make sure that stuff stays backed up.
Now, do you guys normally, when you're looking at November and December, is it really just to play it by ear for installation dates because of how unpredictable the weather can be? Or do you guys normally take a couple of weeks off of getting on the roofs in December?
I wish. This dream scenario. No, and that's the thing, is that we're going to have every day scheduled, but we know days like these are going to be there. So, it'd be nice to be able to plan, like, let's have a poker game on the day it's going to rain, but we never know it's going to rain.
Yes.
So, we basically try to schedule about 4 days every week and plan on 1 day of lost work.
So, has the phone kept ringing pretty busy for you guys? You said that you already have folks going, hey, month and 21 days until we got to get this switched over. So why don't we just go ahead and build now? Has it been a high call volume?
Yeah, you still have the folks who, again, are asking, like, one more? You think you can get one more in? And then, of course, the folks who, are completely new to it. So, that, like I said, of course, it slowed down a little bit because of all the people who were on the fence and then decided to go for it right before, net metering.
It's so fascinating just how people's minds work, too.
Right.
Where it's like, it's never really a pressing issue until you get told you can't have something anymore, and then it's like, call now, call now.
I've been thinking about it, and it's like, yeah, so something got you off it, yeah.
So when did you start thinking about 08?
Yeah. Yeah, but now something's taken away from me, and now it's important. Yeah, absolutely.
We'll take a quick break. Ryan will come back here in a second. It's 10:23 and a little bit of change on this 4th day of November. More Daily Show right after this.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
I I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was going to make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Myself, man. I'm now coming to find out that I'm living in the 1920s with my kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
I'm never home, man.
Yeah. I mean, congrats.
No, it's not. That's why I'm leaving at 11:30 today, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. But yeah, so I'm going to send this to you, but because we were going to do this, but it's just amazing. Like, I really don't use that much power.
Yeah.
And that was a busy month.
And, I could probably guess some things about your house just based on that. Like,
yeah.
It's a ranch.
Yep.
Okay. You have a basement?
Dirt block basement.
Okay, so it's crawl space then?
You can walk in it, but it's still a dirt. It's,
okay.
Kind of one of those, they just set it on top of it.
Sure. But yeah, I mean, what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things you can guess, like 370 kilowatt. And not only that, it's October. So even a bigger house, like our house is probably going to use 800 to 900 kilowatt hours.
Interesting.
But we'll use 2,200 in August.
I could see that every bit of the way. And actually, You know what's funny? This is up from my August bill.
Oh, really?
It is.
Oh,
Isn't that incredible?
Turn your air conditioner down already.
They get so mad at me because I'm like, I keep that sucker at 76, and because I'm not home. But you were getting ready to go and meet with an individual, and we aren't going to have to talk about the name or anything, but it's so fascinating to hear, and I'm not messing with you, and I'm so tired of almost effing with you because I'm just, getting back into this, but it's the fact that it doesn't matter how, it just seems like there's always an option and an avenue for the bill to be, just the savings to be there, but also and then some, to where you're not just breaking even on something. I mean, you are going to see a return in some way, shape, or form, and this is the case here.
Absolutely, yeah. So, we're showing folks most of the time when we sit down with them now, we're showing them a system without a battery. And typically, we're going to start we're going to start cutting your power bill in half with a system without a battery. Now, if we want to cut your power bill by more than half, that's where the battery is going to really be economically advantageous. So the savings with just cutting her power bill in half, the 25-year savings, is $55,000.
That's incredible. I mean, that's really incredible.
Yeah, and that's, again, just cutting her power bill in half. So she's going to rent half her power. She's going to own half of it with solar. And she's going to save $55,000.
Well, and see, that's the thing. Because to me, a lot of people now in Alton, and the folks that are coming in, because, the state is still, there's some folks leaving. Numbers are being argued with all the time on that anyway. But in Alton, people are really plotting out to be here for the long haul. They're buying houses in Middletown that, always were scaring people away from buying because of that energy bill, because of, the heating and air and all of that and the electric. But now, I mean, you have a chance to own a beautiful historic home. And you can save save tons of money in the process with this. So,
yeah, you talked about something like, somebody might have just heard 25-year savings, $55,000. Well, who's planning on staying here 25 years? So if you heard that, like, the break-even point on that system, though, is like four and a half years.
Right. That's why I said you're really even within not even a quarter of the time.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
And I don't know what car I'm going to own in 5 years, let alone where I'm going to live. So... yeah, and then the system that was more, closer to the 75+% of her power bill, and that added the battery. So obviously added expense because more panels and more battery. That system still saves $85,000.
It's incredible.
And so, and that's the other thing is the savings still goes up. So, you know, even though the battery is expensive and everything, and then she obviously is going to get the benefit of backup power with the battery as well. So, you know, people are hearing that net metering is gone and solar must not make any sense at all anymore.
Right.
No. Solar still makes a ton of sense, literally to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars compared to sticking with your power company.
Well, and see, that's what I just think so fascinating about this. When we talk with you and you talk with your clients, I mean, it really isn't a sale. And I mean that. And that's got to be really something you pride yourself on, because in an industry full of salespeople and no experts, I mean, when people are knocking on your doors, the conversation's got to just be welcome with someone, especially if they have that first bad experience, you know, and they're talking with y'all.
Yeah, and I mean, even the lady I'm going to today, she kind of got turned off and stopped thinking about it for a while because of a couple bad experiences.
100%.
A couple bad apples. And like you said, you know, at Grid LLC, we educate customers. We do the math for them, educate them on the math for their particular house, right? And then those numbers either sell it or they don't, you know? Like, and that's why it is sad that there's so many salespeople that feel like there's something to sell here. Yeah. And, you know, and it's like, it's just, you really just don't need to do that.
Well, you don't, because this is such people that are doing this are already interested. Now it's how do we help them? You know, how do we make sure this works for them?
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, it's a true partnership instead of a sales relationship, because you got to have somebody that really knows their stuff. And when you have, seriously, and I keep bragging about this, number one, because it shows people watch the show, but two, it shows how people trust your word. When Ameren calls me right after you guys are on and says, hey, we want to add to this conversation. This was great. Let's add to it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason for that. They aren't coming on here to dispel what you guys had to say. They said, hey, they're right. And here's what else we're doing.
Well, think about the name of our company, Grid LLC, right? We acknowledge that the grid exists and we have to work with them. Like, just in the name of our company, right? You've got all these sun, solar, photo, you know, whatever. All of these companies talking about sun and everything, right, with their solar companies. But, like, we talk about the reality of the world we live in, which is the grid exists and you have to work with it.
Listen, the sun's only going to get you so far, pal.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Well, and then you guys do something that's so that shows the professionalism. Some of these companies, I see them and I hear them talking. It's like they're blaming the power company for what they're doing. And it's like, no, you got to work with them. I mean, they're going to be there regardless.
Right. You really do.
I lied, by the way. I will be honest about my line. My highest kilowatt hour usage was 747 kilowatt hours in September. So that was
okay. That was a warm September.
It was a very warm September.
Yeah.
My hairspray always goes out when it gets too hot in there, man. So I got to turn that sucker down. But I'm going to download this just to take a look, you know, and just to see how it works and breaks down. But how long are you going to be there with this client today? How long is that process when you're meeting them with the bill? How long does that kind of last?
So that's a great question. It takes me about 30 to 45 minutes to really, you know, lay the whole thing out for you. And, you know, I've been at folks' house for 3.5 hours, right?
No kidding.
Absolutely. Now, I would be lying if I said that was all talking about solar. You know, but honestly, if we're only talking about solar and you have all of the good questions, I could be there for 2 hours.
Easily. Easily, 100%.
Yeah.
Now, you know, today, whenever people are off the roofs, is this where you guys kind of have a chance to catch your breath and maybe just kind of, I mean, you're always organized, but just kind of reconfigure, hey, here's where we're at, let's look at this some more?
Yeah, and I mean, we do that every week. You know,
do you really? I mean,
how,
not being funny, but how do you? Because you guys have your phones ringing all the time right now, and I mean, it seems tough.
Well, and we have all of the parts of the business that we have to deal with, you know, project management, accounting, install, scheduling, right? And so we just try to get all of those parts together, and we literally talk about every customer every week.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
See, I love this, man.
Like we're a small company, so it's not like the list isn't 100 customers long, you know.
It's perfect. I mean, it's perfect, because that's the problem sometimes with some of these bigger, it doesn't matter if it's solar. I mean, hell, even roofing, you get them kind of like a number at the meat deli, you know, where it's like, okay, that's number 17 and not with you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like that deli, he's going to get to know that 1,000 customers that walk in the door every single time, and he's going to know Mrs. Jones, and I'll welcome him in.
I wanted to ask you this. I haven't yet, but now that I'm looking at my bill, and this is a CJ question, how does gas heat affect your solar energy or solar decision?
So gas heat actually. So when you have gas heat, you're heating with a different energy source, natural gas. So your electric usage goes way down.
Right.
Right. Which is good because the solar production goes way down in the winter as well. So your usage curve and the production curve of your system actually match each other in the winter.
Are you serious?
They both go down.
Wow, this is cool. See, I like asking questions for me. I hope you guys are getting interested over there.
And then actually the lady I'm going to today, she has a usage curve that goes up in the winter. So one of two things, she either uses an electric heater, she has an electric furnace, or she uses space heaters, one of those two.
How bad are space heaters for that power, Bill?
So a typical furnace for your whole house is going to use about 3,000 to 4,000 watts. Okay. A space heater is 1,500.
Oh my goodness.
So they are incredibly power hungry.
Wow. So it's one of those where, not being funny, but it's kind of pick your poison on, do you want to have maybe an extra blanket or two, or do you want to have a little bit more of an expensive month?
Well, and actually, I tell folks with gas heat, I say it will cost you less money to crank your entire house up a couple of degrees.
Will it really?
Than to use this space heater in this one room.
No kidding.
Yeah. So if you're
God,
cold,
I love talking to you.
Crank up your whole house for a couple degrees because gas is considerably more efficient at heating your home.
It really is, man.
Than
I'm
electric.
not even being funny. Like my house when it turns on, and now granted, yeah, you're all laughing at me, but I keep it at 71 because I'm just not that cold of a person. And it takes like 2 seconds, and it's like 64 to 71 in like literally 2 minutes.
It's always much faster. And then think about this. So with electric heat, we burn natural gas to create electricity.
Yeah.
To then send that electricity to your house to create heat. Why not just send the natural gas to your house, burn it in your house, and then create the
Call
heat
it a
there?
day.
Right.
Yeah.
Cut out the middle. Cut out the middleman.
So what's the next couple of weeks looking for you, just personally?
Well, we just got done with Halloween, so at this point, I haven't really started looking forward to Thanksgiving.
Are you just waking
yet.
up from the Tyson knockout from Halloween? Because, I mean, I am, like, kind of fumbling. Parents are struggling.
Yeah, don't even... Yeah, absolutely. And we have Thanksgiving at our house, so...
Oh, God.
Right, it's almost time to start planning.
Hey, but you know what? When you have solar, you don't have to worry about all those crock pots being plugged in.
That is fair. Powered by... I'm cooking with the sun.
That's right. And now, what's the special you're running? And then let's talk about the kiosk, and then we'll wrap up for today.
So it's the Lumen Smart Panel for any system that has a battery. So again, pick your circuits that you want backed up, control them from anywhere. And then, we're at the St. Clair Square kiosk right at the entrance to basically near Macy's. So the entrance to the main mall right by Macy's. Opposite side is food court. Come on in, see us. We're going to be there Thursdays in the weekend until after Thanksgiving, and we'll be there more.
This is really cool. I just downloaded my report. Jason will be getting an email here shortly. And I'm excited for going through this in 2 weeks.
Yeah, very good.
And I'm excited for the individual that's going to meet with you next and seeing how you're going to save a ton of money. For more information, gridsolarllc.com. That's gridllc.com. And don't forget